Rugger's brave. Rugger is the best. He loves new adventures and tackling on new quest. He's Rugger.
Last week on Rugger Tales, Rugger was on his quest to find the missing Glup Glup Cup when he solved the message and got into the cave, where he finally discovered the missing Glup Glup Cup. Now he had to get it back home safe and sound. Rugger ran his little heart out. Down, down, down Minty Mountain he went. Running down the mountain was a lot easier than climbing up it. He flew down the steep slopes until he reached a gentler slope where he could rest and see if he had finally escaped the mountain men of Mulu. He looked up to the mountain peak and saw no green creatures lurking, so he got out a drink bottle to take a sip of water. Suddenly, a huge rock thudded nearby where Rugger was resting. Then another and another. He looked up, and there up the mountain were the mountain men of Mulu, throwing down huge rocks. Rugger could hear the vile creatures spewing obscenities. The rocks were getting closer, and Rugger knew he had to make a run for it. He remembered all the skills he had learnt on his journey, and these would come in handy in evading the rocks the mountain men of Mulu were throwing at him. He weaved and swerved to avoid the rocks, and then made a dash for the cave which he had entered before. He rushed through the cave and zigzagged through the dense and prickly bush, ran past the gushing waterfall, ran alongside the slow-moving river, up and over the rolling hills, through the green meadow, jumped and hopped through the muddy swamp, leapt over the land of rocks, back through the dark and murky forest, and finally down to the road, close to where he had started his journey. Finally, Rugger was home, and with the Glup Glup Cup, which made him extremely happy, he took out the cup from his knapsack, gave it a polish, and turned to head for home. But then, his eyes suddenly widened. "What do you mean you can't tell? What's wrong, Rugger? What have you seen?" Oh, it was a dreaded Woggle Woggle that Rugger had seen, and it was coming full speed. As the Woggle Woggle chased him, its tongue flapping from side to side, spraying drool and spit all around. Filthy creatures they are. This dog-like critter sure could move fast for something with such little legs, and it was gaining ground on the little Ruggerbee. If only he could make the clearing ahead, he would be safe. There was a beach on the other side, and he knew Woggle Woggles didn't like water. Run, Rugger! Run to the water! He burst through the last line of trees. The chasing Woggle Woggle took one glance at the ocean and groaned in frustration. If only Woggle Woggles liked water, he would have been okay, but alas, his Ruggerbee feast would have to wait for another day. Rugger realized he was safe. He was sick of being chased, and this adventure was becoming tiresome. Rugger quietly walked along the beach and soon turned the bend for home and his own little warm bed. So a little bit further, and the adventure's all over. Rugger sighed and looked around the class.
Rugger! He's the man! Rugger! Rugger! You the man, Rugger!
Tune in to next week's exciting Rugger Tales. And remember, if you don't know where you're going, how do you expect to get there? Deep sighs.
He's Rugger.